And hello everybody, good evening. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to this evening's stream. And I think I've got myself together properly. So before, well, let's just get started, shall we? So this evening, what I've chosen to drive this evening for the first journey is to drive the Class 66, which is numbered as 4M15. Southampton MCT to Trafford Park. So we're going to be travelling from Stafford to Bashford Hall in the Class 66. Many of my Class 66 scenarios or timetabled do not work. I just spawn in the station or randomly on foot somewhere, and I believe other people are experiencing the same with that. Hopefully it's sorted next week. But there are a couple within the timetable that do work, and I quite enjoyed the one I did the other day. So let's get started. And let's just get everything set up. Get our safety system sorted out. AWS, DSD. I think that is just everything in there that we need to sort out. Let's sort out whatever lights we need. Instrument lights. Desk light, that's already on. Don't need cab lights. Headlights. Daytime. Yeah, nighttime. Daytime is cool. Okay, I think that's everything there. Let's get our master key in. Oop. And acknowledge the AWS. Get it into forward. And yeah, I think we're ready to go, more or less. So we need to stop at Bashford Hall. So before I make a start, good evening to everybody who's come along. Hello, Dave the driver. Thank you very much for coming along. Nice to see you, sir. Great name, by the way. Especially the name Dave. So, right. So, let's try and get this thing going. Now, we've got quite a long rake here. Not quite sure how far back it goes, but we'll have a proper look afterwards. We just need to get the thing moving first. So if you bear with me, I'm actually playing on Xbox this evening, so as we know, there are quite a few issues with Xbox, so but we may be swapping over to playing on PC for our next journey. If we get there, I'm planning on driving the Class 158 because I know that's had a new timetable on the Fife Circle line. And that is on my PC, so we'll pop over to the PC to play that. So I'm going to put some sand on. I know the weather conditions look fine, but because it's quite heavy, that sand does give it extra grip even in the best of driest of weathers. So let's just give it a little bit of throttle, and we'll just start applying the throttle gradually. Did I release my brakes? That would be helpful, I think. Take this throttle off a minute, actually. For some reason I thought I'd released the brakes, but too busy chatting. Just let the brakes to set. Okay, let's start applying our throttle now. It does take some time to get it moving. Some more sand down. We don't even seem to be creeping forward. Normally by now I'm usually creeping forward. Can't really apply too much more throttle, otherwise we're well in the red. Yeah, I think we're... Are we moving? Yes, we're going. Whew, didn't want to be sat here for hours sorting that out. Right, off we go. Right, I'll just take this sand off now. Dave, why does it set brakes for passenger and not goods? Weird. Yes. You can set it. I can't remember where it is now. I don't know if it's in that cupboard up there. You can change it, or it may... I can't remember if you can actually change it on the computer, actually. I do know there's various variants of the Class 66, and this passenger and goods brakes thing is a bit hit and miss depending on which 66 you're using. And with me not being a big regular driver of the Class 66, it wouldn't be right of me to sort of advise or give any tips on what the situation is with the switching between passenger and goods. I mean, obviously it should be set to goods, which I'm assuming it is, but I can't quite remember where the setting is, to be honest with you. Is it in there? Can't remember where it is now. If there's someone in chat who's a regular with Class 66s, maybe they can say. And the screen above cabs, this screen up here. Yes. Again, without having the manual open in front of me or referring to anything, I don't want to go into here now and look for which setup it is or how you set it up. It's normally, when you start these on the timetable, they're normally set up for you anyway, so in most cases, not always, I've experienced. But there's a few scenarios where the electromotive computer is used. I can't remember the line now, but I made a video of one of the scenarios for the Class 66, which heavily involved the use of the computer, using it to set it into slow mode so that you can slowly reverse it into where you're getting it loaded up, having the hoppers loaded up or whatever else you're pulling. Yeah, there's a few, Dave, there's a few different sort of variants of the 66, and it can get a little bit confusing. So I hope everybody's doing well and enjoying the game. We've had some updates on some of the other outstanding issues, haven't we, with some of the other routes and some introductions, new introductions to the new timetable to the Fife Circle line, and is it announcements for the Manchester Airport line, I think, but I don't believe they have appeared or come through on the patch properly yet. Haven't really had a chance to have a look properly. Dave, I'll be trying the 66 scenarios on the updated 5 timetables tonight. Cool, excellent. Only 3, but nice and long. Cool. I like driving the freight. I'm mostly a BR Blue fan, so most of my freight endeavours take place on the Preston to Carlisle route, and Tees Valley route and Transpennine. So that's where I kind of hang about to conduct my freight runs, because I much prefer the older locos, Class 37 being my favourite. Love the class, well, I love all of them really, the Class 40 as well, you know, 45 and Class 20. Really looking forward to the next DLC release for Crewe to Preston, which is going to include merry-go-rounds with the Class 20s. But obviously the Class 66 is spread out through many of the other modern day routes, but I think many of us have become tired of using what is nicknamed as the shed for so long, and well overdue for a new edition, which I do know is on the way. It's been announced that we're getting the Class 90, so that'll be a nice new addition to the game, and add a little bit of a variant. Oh, so you're into BR Blue as well then, Dave? Cool, excellent. Yeah, you can't beat it. I mean, what's great to see is that although the old beasts have now finally retired, and some have made it to the heritage routes, it's nice to see that the Class 37 is still undertaking mainline duties with recoveries and train test runs, and maybe a little bit of freight as well still. I don't know about that, but it's nice to see after all this time she's still there, thundering along. Even the Class 20s are still, I've seen in some recent footage on YouTube, undertaking present day duties. You're an old git. Well, that's two old Dave gits. Oh dear. There's just something. There's something just very nostalgic, isn't there, about that era? It just instantly takes me back to my childhood, sat on the bridge near my home with my neighbour, watching the diesels come through and hoping the driver would see us waving and hoot his horn as he passed under us. I was just in awe. The old diesels have got so much character. They're almost living beings. They've all got this unique face to their front cab, and they've all got their distinctive own sounds. If you close your eyes, you'd instantly know. You can instantly identify what's passing you. It's great. Hello there, Super Sprinter. Good evening, sir. How are you? I hope you've had a good day. I spent 28... Dave, the driver, spent 28 years in York watching all the old locos from Ironbridge south of the station. Excellent, cool. I've decided to take a risk, super sprinter, and drive the 66. So what's quite interesting about this Class 66 is that, as you can see, we're just diverting off the main line. If we look at our map, I think we normally come round this way, don't we? I think. Actually, I've lost track. Where are we? I think we normally come round on this way. Yeah, we do, because we're only on single track here, aren't we? Super Sprinter, I've been enjoying the 125 Birmingham Crewe on the Blackpool service. Oh right, cool. Is that what you've set up yourself? It isn't a scenario, is it, or timetable? No. Because it was something I think we were talking about on a few streams ago, wasn't it? I was intrigued to know whether I haven't got my full throttle up here. I was intrigued to know whether 125s ever went up the Preston route, and apparently they do, or did rather, to Blackpool on summer specials, wasn't it? Are my graphics looking okay compared to your Xbox? Right. Despite what Xbox users had been advised to do, which was to reduce their graphics to HD, I've persevered in 4K, because at the end of the day, that's what I expect it to be running at, and what has worked for me. It's still performed okay in 4K. I'm not actually streaming in 4K though. I'm streaming in 2K, which is the halfway between HD and 4K. So when I look back at the streams, it seems to, the quality of the streams looks pretty good, but I'm unable to monitor the live stream separately without looking at it on my phone, and I can't tell from that how well the quality of the stream comes across. In theory it should look pretty crisp and clean. Super Sprinter, nah, I just start on foot and spawn it on a time it actually left. Ah, right, cool. Yeah, I need to do that myself. No, I have done it myself in private. I was thinking of doing it, doing a stream of driving the 125 from Preston to Blackpool. Sadly, obviously, you don't get the opportunity to really open her up, but it's quite interesting to experience the HST along that line and see it parked up, eventually being parked up at Blackpool. I did use some guy's livery from Livery Create, I can't remember his name now, but I did do a little HST video recently, which seems to have been quite popular actually. And we've got this new HST pack coming out sometime in the future, haven't we? Where we've got a variety of different, I was going to say skins, but liveries from all the eras to celebrate the HST. Yeah, I've set it to summertime. And I've put 50% cloud So yeah, I've sort of been keeping clear from the autumn setting. I've started, although it creates some nice scenic lighting and shots from time to time. I found that on a few occasions I struggle to read some of the signals, because some of the signals that are actually red look yellow. So I found the safest time of year to drive is sort of June, July, and then putting my weather to 50% cloud. Because sometimes when you've got it on complete clear, it creates these very harsh, bright washouts. Right, have we got a yellow coming up or something? No, we've got a green. So I found that by adding some cloud, just sort of like takes off that bleaching of where the track looks white and a lot of the scenery looks bleached and washed out. Dave the driver looks okay for Xbox. Slight frame drop when 390 passed, but not worrying. I haven't got my frame rate. Oh shit! But I've just seen a temporary speed limit coming up here. I think we're going to be all right though. Yeah, we've just done it. Right, where was I? What was I babbling on about? Yeah, I haven't got my frame rate switched on at the moment, so I don't know how it's performing on Xbox, to be honest with you, in terms of frame rate. On PC, although I got a top-end PC, I seem to average around 50 frames per second. Not on this particular route, just in general. Sometimes it's at... sometimes it'll hit 60 or stay at 60. But kind of hovers around 50, dropping into the 40s sometimes. Yes, keeping me on the toes there, Dave. I've noticed if it isn't raining, it doesn't crash Super Sprinter. Right, that's interesting to know. I've put it on custom weather, so in theory we shouldn't get any rain today. Because what always happens with that damn dynamic weather is that it always starts peeing it down just as you're performing all your tasks, ready to come into the station. And as always, I can never remember where the wipers are on whatever cab I'm on, so then I'm hunting round to try and find the bloody wipers. In fact, where are the wipers on the 66? Just in case we do have a bit of a rain situation. Is that it? Yeah. I think that's the wiper, isn't it? Yeah. Cool. Sorted. So if we get caught out, hopefully I'll remember. There we go. Super Sprinter, it's not letting you do the HUD like mine for some reason. Right. I can have a look at settings when we finish this this journey, if you like. see if there's a particular setting for the hood. I got to admit, I've ended up fumbling around with the hood because like different settings are sort of just spread all over the place. They're not under headings I would assume them to be under. But it wouldn't be tier stuff if we were in order. So yeah. What I have noticed about the hood, though, as you can see in my top left-hand corner now, which, to be fair, on freight routes, I don't think there is a sort of arrival time for freight routes in most cases. So, as it's shown at the moment, with it being blank on the top left, it wouldn't normally list an arrival time for freight. But it should, obviously, for passenger journeys, and it still isn't at the moment. Dave the Driver, Sprinter, that is minimal hood or simple, I can't remember. Yeah, minimal or simple rings a bell with me. I think mine's minimal, but then you have to sort of select different things that you want, because like I've switched off my what's it called, the score, because that's just not important. I've also turned off my aspect signal colours that are coming up, so as you can see I've got a signal coming up now, but I don't know what colour it is without literally seeing it. So it's green, and I prefer to play like that because obviously it's more immersive and more real, although it becomes quite challenging during live streams. So if we do drive the Class 158 later, there's a good chance I might end up spadding or whatever. Because it's hard to stream and keep an eye on those signals properly. But I'm gonna challenge myself and do the journey with the signal aspect, switch it off, because there's nothing worse than kind of knowing unrealistically in advance, because obviously a real driver would not know, and then to me it feels like I'm cheating then, because I can brake much sooner than I would have known normally. Yeah, you can turn them off, yeah. Right, we've got another signal coming up. So this is why I end up squashing my nose against the window. Try and look ahead and see what my next signal is. And I've got a habit of squashing my nose against the window when trying to see my stop sign on the platform edges. Because I've also taken off the, what they call it, the next scenario stop thing, because I can't be doing with that hovering in the middle of my screen. But there's nothing wrong in using any of those things, of course. If you're new to Train Sim World, anybody who's watching, I started off with all of those things and just gradually started moving away from the additional aids, and yeah, I mean, I'd love to finally find myself in a position where I could drive at least one route without any hood, which is something the British Ace does on every route. I'm just flabbergasted how he memorises all the speed limits and upcoming signals. But I've watched him on a couple of his routes, and he must have this brain which can, like a photographic memory of some sort, and is able to store it permanently in his head, whereas anything that enters my head has gone out of the other side of my head within a few seconds. So I don't think there's going to be any hope of me driving hoodless, really. But I've got to be able to do it for at least one route. Probably the Blackpool route, maybe. That one would be an easy one to learn hoodless, I think. Super Sprinter, I've noticed the ambassadors have their hoods off, but if you look at gauges, they in emergency braking. Ah, yes. I have seen a few streamers. And I've got to admit, I've ended up been busy too chatting and having to apply far more brakes than I should be, particularly any service really. Hopefully get a bit of practice in with that on if we get into the 158. Oh, we've only got 4 miles left. Alright, cool. That went quite quick, didn't it? And we didn't have a look how long this rake is. Oops. I'll just get back in my cab for a minute, that's all a bit strange. Just need to apply a little bit of brake. It's a bit late for doing outside shots now, because we are getting quite close. So we're not completely fully loaded, but you can see it's an awfully long rake, and it's certainly got some weight to it, because as you saw at the start, it took some doing to get the thing moving. God, did you see that then? Oh my god. Right, what have we got here? Is it a double yellow? Good, right, so we've got no throttle on. Let's just start getting some brake in now. I just need to put some throttle in here because we're still dropping. Right, we've got single yellow now. So I'll probably just keep around this speed, to be honest with you. Just take it up to 30 maybe. Just below it. As you saw, it took some time to get the thing moving, so I need to be very careful at bringing her to a stop. As I'm sure you all know, those of you into driving the freight. I know freight's not everybody's kind of cup of tea, really, because there's a lot of plodding along and slow driving. I was wondering where that went. Didn't look as though it was blurring that then. Let's get this roll off. I shouldn't have been looking outside then. Yeah, I love the freight as much as passenger. The only thing I'm not too keen on is sort of... Well, actually, I've started liking a lot of the... commuter routes recently, with all the layering that's been brought into them, but I'm not really into I need to bring some power in here because I'm gonna lose my momentum. Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, I'm not really into commuter stuff where there's like this stop every 800 yards. You know, it becomes like a bit of a tram service. I love driving the tube, by the way. I quite doing that, and that is a stop every few hundred yards, but not really into it on sort of mainline routes where you're just continuously stopping and starting, which is going to be a little bit like the 158, which I intend to drive next, which is quite a lot of short stops. But when I played it the other day, I quite enjoyed it, really, because it was the 158 and it's got they're called separate throttle and brake, which I prefer to use when driving. Really, I'm not really into the combined throttle and freight. Yeah, Cardiff was like that, which was disappointing, really, because it's the first Welsh route, and I'm Welsh, but I'm from North Wales, so to be honest with you, the Welsh, there's like a Welsh North and South divide. We're very much cut off from each other. So much to the point where it's actually quicker to get from North Wales to London than it is to get to Cardiff. It can take almost all day to get to South Wales from North Wales. But yeah, still, with it being in Wales, I was quite excited about it being a Welsh route, and I have been to Cardiff a few times, so I was very keen to see how they represented it. And I like driving the 150, but every journey just seemed to be over in 15-20 minutes, and it was just start, stop, and yeah, you know, so and something that annoyed me a little bit was which, you know, it's not the end of the world, but I didn't like the way they'd modelled Cardiff train station, because if you go to the old entrance to Cardiff station, there's no detail there, there's no features. It's like as if it was all boarded off. To me, it just looked like lazy modelling to me. I mean, they did a good job of the new entrance to the Cardiff station. That was quite good. Just trying to shave off this little bit of coming up to 10 mile an hour here. So it quite like the brakes on the 66. Well, once you've experimented with them for a bit, gone a little bit over there, haven't I? Right. we made it. Right. Bit annoyed with my stopping there though, because when I practiced it on my own the other day, it was perfect. But anyway, perfection is impossible with live streaming, I have found anyway. So there we have it. Managed to complete it, and it didn't crash. What we'll do there was we'll just go back into free roam, and have a proper kind of look. Wow, that was quite a long rake we were pulling there, weren't we? Woo! Wow, that's pretty long. I mean, freight always is, of course, but don't often see such a long rake in Train Sim World. Oops, I've been thrown out. This lady's taken over. I'm just gonna get back in the seat though and watch her drive away. Wow, that looks pretty impressive, doesn't it? So it's nice to. Oh, there's the blurriness though. Hey, oh, it's just stepped back in. Not too bad, but I'm glad I found at least a couple of the freight services that do work. The only thing about Crewe I find there's not much in the sidings, is there? So I'm going to use a different camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A static camera. There's not an awful lot of sort of rolling stock in the sidings. I suppose the Xbox would explode if there was anything else here with the way things have been. I drove this one the other day actually, this cement one. That one was working. I haven't found anything with these in yet on the timetables. Those hoppers. But as you can see, we've got the cement in there. Right, I've lost track of chat because I've just been rambling on. Let's see how far back. How much have I missed? Ah, there we go. Dave the driver. My favourite is the class 36 and 37 with tap changes. My Dave the driver. Ah, nice. I lived in Bettersecoid. Oh, did you live in Bettersecoid? Oh, wow. Bettersecoid. I spent so much time in Bettersecoid as a kid. Love the place. Gets a bit congested with all the tourists. Wasn't so congested when I was a young man or a young kid, but it's so now. Got some funny stories of camping in Bettersecoid actually. I'll have to tell them one day. My mate set me up, which I wasn't too happy about. He did a prank on me which was quite funny. Snake bites, I thought I had zero interest in freight, was even going to disable the layers on passenger routes, but I don't know, I think now is becoming interesting because of the longer routes and non-stop. Yeah, that's it. Sometimes it's just nice to have a nice, you know, route without any demanding focus for, you know, stops, and then just enjoy the scenery, and can be quite relaxing. I quite like doing something I never see people do live, actually, or mention much about, is shunting moves. The Preston to Carlisle route and the Blackpool branches route have a lot of shunting on the there's a lot of shunting scenarios and timetable stuff, and they're really good. They can be frustrating at times because you can quite easily get some of the tasks wrong or overshoot, and then things don't register properly. But yeah, right, she's going out a map now. We're going to get kicked out of the map in a second, because I'm still inside that train. So before we get kicked out of the map, we'll just head over to Crewe. So we've got the 390 going away. Going away. 350. Station, I find Crewe station quite quiet looking. Most times I've been here, sadly. What have we got? We've got a 150 coming in from Wales. Will this be coming in from Llandudno? It's quite possible that that's coming in from Llandudno. I'm still inside the train. Right. Anyway, we've done enough train spotting, haven't we? We need to pop over to PC. So let me just see. What I need to do. Right, let's just pause that there. Go over to PC. Right, so if you just bear with me a moment. I hope you can all still hear me. I know the screen's gone blank. Right. Let me just find my way. Right, it's just launching. Right. Hoping it will come up on the screen. Ah, there we go. Success. Right. Snake bites. I thought I had zero. Yeah, I've read that one, haven't I? I could see myself driving it if I was in the mood, to be honest. Super Sprinter, I feel... Where's Super Sprinter gone? I've lost where I am in all the chat here. You've all been busy chattering away. I could see myself driving. Super Sprinter, I feel your pain. Train Sim World did. West Coast Main Line South and route is nothing like how I see it. Marston Green was lame. Dave the driver, platinum job done. Cheers. Super Sprinter. I think Dave driver meant 86 and 87. Yeah, I thought you meant the 86 and 87s. We were saying tap changer. Yes, the tap changer. I like driving the 86 and 87, and we've got more of that to come, haven't we, with the upcoming Crewe to Preston. Swallow Falls Hotel was gorgeous in autumn. Yes, it is, isn't it? Swallow Falls. Love the sound of the running water up there through all the rivers. Snakebite, yeah, the challenge of it, good too. Taking a freight train down the Bermuda Pass looks fun. Right. I think I'm bought up. Oh, right. I need to plug in my controller. Are we connected? We are. Right. Oh, I forgot to look at the settings, didn't I? Super Sprinter while I was on the Xbox. Anyway, we'll sort that out. Try and find out what's going on. I believe some people, when I was on Facebook last night, there was a lot of people saying, a lot of PC players who have so far found it quite funny that Xbox has had the rough end and everything's been perfect on PC. But apparently, since the last patch, a lot of PC players have been experiencing issues with the update. I haven't looked into it anymore through the day, but noticed that was mentioned a few times this morning on a Facebook group I'm in. Right, timetable 158. We'll leave the weather as it is, shall we? But we'll leave it in October this time. But we'll leave it to custom weather. And we'll put a little bit of cloud in. And I'm actually, I just want to try and I'm going to play the one I played last night because it was quite an interesting one, which is Edinburgh Waverley. So it's true. I've read that, and you've heard that as well, then, Dave. That PC has had some issues too. And I know they weren't as badly affected as Xbox players were. But last night and this morning, I was reading quite a lot of things, and I remember listening to Matt Pedalston on one of his streams about when there are these bugs and issues. And he did mention blurring as one of them. He said that they have to tread carefully when making these updates or, trying to find out where the problem is and make the update. But when you make the update, sometimes it triggers a fault somewhere else, completely randomly elsewhere, unrelated to the original bug. And he did also say that occasionally they want to tread carefully. This is before all this happened, by the way. That's happened recently. They have to take care that when they do make fixes, that it doesn't completely crash the game altogether, the live version that we're all playing. So I can understand that and get that, but there's just been so much wrong, hasn't there, with this release, unfortunately, which is sad for a new developer to be involved with, because it's a brilliant route. Anyway, so we're going to do this 2K71 Edinburgh to Waverley at 14:27. When I started this yesterday, the bagpipes were playing in the background, which was a nice little touch. But then when I played another one later, they weren't playing. So I think it was just sort of like an intro thing for the first time you play something on the route. Super Sprinter, I never bought this route. I bought the wrong route. Right, so excuse me, Coryton Beth, is that? Dave the Driver, I think mod users have more trouble for PC with conflicts, whereas I'm vanilla on virtual machine cloud gaming. Right, I see. So, yeah, sometimes when there's updates, mods become outdated, don't they? Because the mods are not updated with that update, and so can cause conflicts. I don't really bother with mods anyway, but I did get a ScotRail livery one, which I played recently, which I really liked. Bagpipes only on Levin route now. The old EG, they don't play anymore. Crazy. Ah, right. Right, I'll get this started anyway. Yeah, they're not playing now, are they? Right. Master key. On. Reverser. Forward. Headlights. Day headlights. And what else do we need here? Is that on? That we'll get that off. Where am I? Safety systems. That's it. Oh, that's okay. AWS normal. DSD normal. Just cancel that because I think we've got vigilance on the back wall here somewhere. Where is it? Is that it? Yep. Right. I think that's everything now. Get back in the chair. Get the doors open. Just have a quick look outside. I've noticed the doors take a long time to open and close on this. Because I opened them about 5 minutes ago. Oh yeah, look. I'm not into the collectible stuff, but beans it's there. I'm just going to have to pop out, aren't I, and do it. How'd you do it? There we go. Right. Where's the door gone? Get back in the chair. Right. So, we've got this, what is it? The class, is it a 170? That we've got stuck on the back of here. Yes. So, I'm assuming this is a thing where we have a 158 pulling a 170. Because when I played this the other night, I didn't bother looking. I just drove off in the 158. And then when I did an outside shot and had a look, I saw that I had the 170 stuck on the back of me, and I thought I must have rolled back and coupled onto this 170. But just carried on with it anyway. But it's obviously a thing, I'm guessing. Right, see they take ages to close as well. Oh, they are closed. Right, is that the buzzer there? Right, let's get going. That is green in front of us, isn't it? The engine sounds very quiet, so I'll open the windows. First stop is at Haymarket Platform 2 in a mile's time. The only thing with this 158 is I feel like I need to put some sunglasses on because it's extremely bright in here. It's like as if I've got the lights on, but I can assure you I haven't. I don't know why it's so bright in here. It feels very clinical. It feels like I'm about to have a brain scan or something in a very clinical setting. I'm sure there'd be a bit of muck and grease knocking about in the cab and a few scratches and scrapes. But we'll let that pass. So here we are, just coasting along. There's your 158. So there we go. The 170 on the back. I'm assuming it must be something to do with shiners. That sounds loud. It's really echoing in the tunnel. Oh, we're going to be stopping outside this station, more or less. We can carry on a bit more. We're a little late because I'm too busy chatting. I think most of my stops are at the end of each station. Right, let's get the doors open. $158 doors are the same in real life. I caught one 2 days ago in Sheffield. What you going to say? It took 2 days for the doors to open. If you're getting a 158, then you need to arrive 2 days early to wait for the doors to open. 158 class was blue originally. Cabs were blue originally. Right. Yeah, before Dave, the driver. Yeah, before cloud gaming, I used to use God mode with environment settings to turn down the cab brightness. Right, we can lock the doors. Oh, there's only my voice coming through. Right, okay. Let me see what's going on. Let me see. Let's just pause the game a minute. Why that is. Right. Looking in the wrong settings here. Right, I can see why. Speakers. Okay. My OBS settings just they just reset themselves when I change my sound. They go back to my TV sound. I'm sorry about that. Well, at least you could hear me. Let's have it. Right. I think we may. Let's see if that sorts it. Yeah. Right. You should have sound now. Do we have sound? Right. Let's get going. Let's get this released. Right, what have I done? I've done something wrong here. Is that off? Was I being too severe with things then? Or were we suffering from some wheel slip? With me being a bit too over the top with my brakes? with my throttle rather. It seems to be moving alright now anyway. Right, I think we're going to be late for most of our journey. So you can hear the train now. Best route in the game. Hello, Jack Chan. It's best route in the game. Snakebites, you have to disable the TV speakers in both Windows Sound and Nevada control panel, and also device manager if it ever appears in there. Thanks for the advice there, cool. It will prob still happen and you have to disable it again, but should happen a lot less. Okay, cool. Yeah, because every time I'm swapping between TV when I'm just using the TV for normal sound, and then I come back to OBS keeps clicking back. Doesn't click back to the original settings. And it's caught me out there, and I normally do a check before the stream, but with us flipping over from Xbox to PC, the Xbox sound was coming through on a different channel, so we weren't affected. So apologies about that, but so glad that you were all there to shout out at me. So, right. So do any of you know about, what do you call it? Do you call it a consist? Is it? What is it with these 170s being on the back, coupled up to a 158? I don't quite get it. I'm assuming that maybe it's something to do with the services that are being run. So we're sort of like, we've got all these cars which will take down to Levin, is it, the way we're going, and then they'll split it into two trains and be run as separate services back, maybe. I'm guessing that might be the thing behind it. Snake biters, yeah, the TV thing is annoying, definitely drives me mad. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much to check before you stream with various settings on OBS, the PC itself, and then of course you've got YouTube Studio, ensuring that's all. Oh look, going pretty fast here. All set up. It takes me about half an hour to sort of check it all. Right, we're going too fast here. Well, we might even overshoot here now. I'm going to have to put this into emergency. Sorry, I had to put it in emergency because I didn't want us to. There's no I didn't want us to spad if there was a signal at the end. Right. I'm going to try and focus more on my driving. Otherwise, I'm going to do a Tintin. I watched Tintin's stream last night, and he, first of all, he overshot. It might have been. It was this line. He overshot the station, which I've done myself, of course. And then just after overshooting the station, he went through a red light. Oh. So he's got 2 under his belts now with live streams, his Oxton Home and that one last night. That I know of anyway. We've all had our spats, haven't we? But it's a nightmare when you do them live. Right. Door's locked. Hang on, what's going on here? Right. Dave the driver pronounced do you know what, I'm still going to pronounce it wrong the way you've written it for me. Levin L-E-I Levin. I'm just going to keep ballsing it up here. Sorry, some scout just education. Levin, it's not Levine, is it? It's Levin. Super Sprinter. In Nottingham we got 158s and 170s joined a lot early mornings, right. So it's not a glitch then, because I don't know what's a glitch or a bug anymore in this game, or what is actual reality. You know. Snake bites, yeah, always use emergency brakes over spad. Yeah, definitely. That's a valid reason to use it 100%. That's why we have DRA. Yes. Lien. Ah, right. So that's how I should pronounce it. Lien. Super Sprinter, you pull trigger on other side, it does hill start. Yes, right. Does it have a hill is the hill start just on the combined throttle and brake though? And do you, for a hill start, do you have to just sort of like find the bite as you would in a car between the throttle and between the throttle and the brake? Because I'm pressing my left trigger now and it just applies the brake. But whereas when I'm in combined throttle and brake, the left trigger acts as a hill start. Leaving, right. Leaving. Cheers, mate. What I'm going to have to do, my cousin has married to somebody in Scotland and they've moved to Scotland, and I'm always welcome to go up there. So I need to go and spend a bit of time in Scotland, which is well overdue. I've never been to Scotland in my life, but really would like to explore Scotland. I can't quite see your name there, but someone beginning with the letters MON. Just subscribe. Thank you for the subscription. Jack Carn, you live in Scotland, cool, beautiful place. Just realised brake and power up. Sorry, I'll have a look in the chat in a minute, because we've got a station coming up. And really there's no excuse in a 158 to be spadding, because the brake's pretty good on the 158. Right. I think that stops at the end, is it? Yeah. Why won't it didn't go into step 2 then?
If you see anything suspicious, please tell Penarth.
Right. See, I've already opened the doors, but they only just opening. Dave the driver, lucky we're not going to... I'm not even going to try pronouncing any of these names. I live in Wales and I struggle with Welsh names as well. And I'm actually born Welsh, sadly not in a first language speaking part of Wales as Welsh. I'm nearer the English border with Chester, but when I worked in the education sector over in Anglesey, everybody was first language Welsh, and I went to a lot of team meetings and didn't have a clue what anybody was talking about. Right, let's get back in the cab. Right, what's our speed limit over this bridge? Right, let's see if I can get the 2, 3, 4. See if we can... is it shift to make the camera go faster? What? I thought it was shift to make the camera go faster. Yeah, right, got it. Just get a nice proper shot. Wow, oh my god, look at this view. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm sure there are better angles to take shots from. But when you just use the camera mode 1, you don't get this lovely wide shot. Need to reduce my brakes. Put some brakes on here. Get back in the cab a moment. Just get the brakes on a little bit more. Go back outside. Yeah, when you use just this camera, you can't really look from outside properly. So this is kind of the highlight of the route, really, isn't it? It's amazing, because in some areas of the route I find that some of the graphics a bit naff. naff to the point of well, I don't want to diss on Train Sim Classic because it is what it is, but very similar to Train Sim World Classic in some parts of this route. But obviously this part is outstanding, and there's a little bit later on that we come to. Oh, look, we've got to stop here. It's got some really nice graphics as well, so this is terrible braking I'm doing this evening. Yeah, shift. It was shift. Problem was, because I'm using my controller was locked into the game. So then when I went to my mouse, keyboard, my keyboard wasn't registered in the game. So I was then searching around for my mouse to go over to me so that it would trip it into keyboard mode. So, oh, nightmare. Anyway, we got there in the end. We got a reasonably good shot in the end. What's the next station to Bangor, Dave? The next station to Bangor. Do you know the last the last main station before Bangor is Llandudno Junction. Well, Conway. There's a little. Just lock the doors. There's a little station. There's a little station at Conway Castle, and then I can't remember the name of the stations that are in between Conway and Bangor. And I certainly won't remember the name of any of the stations from Bangor to Holyhead. But I certainly can't say the name of the station that is after Bangor, which is well, I think it's known in short as Llanfair, and it ends with Goch. So I can't pronounce that, but it's the station with the longest name, isn't it? And that's the first station after Bangor, I think. You know, it's so hard to talk and and stop at regular stations. Oh yeah. Right. My mouse is doing funny things with me trying to trip over. Right. I'm stuck to the side of the train when I go on my outside yeah, that's better. Right, it's working now. Try and stop on this stop marker. Hooray. Managed to stop on it. Fantastic. Look guys, I've stopped in the right place. Oh dear. Right, oh, my mouse. I need to stop, right. I'm gonna have to get to my get to the chat. Kit Kat Kev, hello there, Kit Kat Kev. That's where I live in Scotland. You have never been to Scotland, David. The good days of Scotland was when the Deltics used to run, and the push-pull 47s or the Class 26s. Yeah, I could imagine. That must have been awesome. Super Sprinter, other way round. Hello, Dave Pathelli. Yes, Pathelli near Abersoch. Lovely place. Well, I'm going to be biased, but I mean, all of North Wales is pretty beautiful, really, isn't it? Right. Off we go. Right, we're stopping in 1.3 miles. Can't remember how to spell Belly, sorry. It looks right. It looks right from here. Very close. Anyway, Llanfair PG, yeah, that's it. That's the short version, Dave. That's the short version. Super Sprinter. One with the longest name, I remember when Rail had a bigger station. Do you know what? Rail Station doesn't belong to the railways anymore. I think they probably sold it to the they sold it to the council. Why have I got? Sorry. Where was I in chat? Something about rail. Dave the Sprinter, sorry chaps, gotta run. Great scream and banter. See you soon. Yes, have a good night, Dave. Someone mentioned something about rail there, and I've lost it now. I haven't kept up with chat, so there it is. Super. I remember when rail had a bigger station. Right. Yeah. So, sorry folks, I'm struggling a little bit tonight. I'm so used to streaming from Xbox. When you're flipping between the game and using the mouse to navigate through the chat on my other screen. Look, see, we've got a station coming. I'm struggling to control everything properly. As I'm not used to streaming from PC. How majorly late are we? I packed in being a train spotter, as there is too many tugboat units on the lines now. Says Kit Kat Kev. Hello, Kit Kat Kev. Kit Kat Kev, I used to court a girl that lived in Rill. I met her on the Class 40 run, Chester to Llandudno. Cool. Super sprinter. I once went to Birmingham to Rill on a 117 DMU on a day out when I was about 7, and had a 31 back. Highlight of my day was the trains. Excellent. With yous being with yous having been to Rill and knowing Rill and North Wales and into the old stuff as well. There is a brilliant, well, I don't know if you can call it a documentary, but sort of, I forget what it's called, but Channel 4 made it and it's on YouTube. The documentary is a Channel 4 documentary following a group of 37 fanatics. They call them bashers, don't they? And they used to get on the 37s and wave all their arms out of the windows and have a good jolly old pee up. The whole thing is just so funny because they're kind of taking the mick out of themselves and discussing about being train fanatics, and you know, and they were filming footage of the Class 37 running alongside the A55, and the next minute you can hear the police, and they stop them, and the police let them off, but they give them a ticking off for doing what they were doing. And I think the police turned around and said to him, where are your anoraks then if you're train spotters? And and then there's a guy who they have, one of the train spotters is called Fat Daz, which, you know, you can't say names like that anymore really, can you? I might try and, if I remember, try and put a link to the video. But it's so funny. Sandy Bay Caravan Park Rill was a dump. We used to go to holiday there every year. Yeah. Probably the most decent sort of caravan site is Presthaven Sands, which is just before Prestatyn. Then after Prestatyn, so Presthaven Sands would be just before Prestatyn, then you had Prestatyn, and in Prestatyn you had Pontins, and they filmed the film on the buses there. Holiday on the buses, I think it may have been called, but Pontins was a real big dump. It's closed down last year though. But despite it being a dump, Pontins, they did have some good events on there. They held some big snooker events, because when I was a kid, snooker was quite a big thing on TV in those days, and it was a big event. It doesn't seem to have that huge following like it used to. It used to be a big television event. I remember Ray Reardon playing there, and I was in awe of meeting Ray Reardon. He looked a bit like Dracula, didn't he? Talking of Dracula, is it Halloween tonight or tomorrow? Right, let's try and stop at this station properly. Super Sprinter, we call them cranks, we call kids in windows at diesel galas insane. Yeah, that was the thing in this documentary. They had different names for different types of train enthusiast or experience. This is quite a weird station going downhill. We've just passed our stop. But I'm quite happy with that one. Kit Kat Dave, the Basher's talk is my lord's dreadful. We are not worthy. Super Sprinter, we went the year of the flooding of Towing, however you call it. Me and my mate spotted 37s all week. Right, yeah, Towing, it did have major flooding. God, when was that now? See, most of that area, from about Talacra, I don't know if you heard of Talacra, but from Prestatyn anyway, through to just past, and past Towing, there's a lot of modern housing that's built up on, well, what is, to me, sea level. So yeah, it's suffered from severe flooding in the past. I haven't heard of any major incidents since that particular time. There we go. It's a nice view and scenery there of, is it a monastery, that on the left? This is a funny quirk I find in Train Sim World, is why are all the football pitches got these huge, massive football pitch markings? They're just well over the top, and I mentioned this in a comment on Facebook somewhere a while ago. And people started moaning at me because they said I was just moaning about nothing, and I wasn't moaning. I was just saying why are all the lines on the football pitches so fat and big? And it's not just a particular route; it's every route. I would just not bother painting them on at all. I would just leave them if there's an issue. Technically, then just don't bother painting them in. Just put the goalposts there, not paint unrealistic, thick, massive white lines that don't look at all realistic. Or am I being over the top? Let's. Please tell me that the last... Yeah, right. Okay. I don't know if I remember correctly, but this next station has got some nice scenery at it, I think, if it's the one. Didn't mean to go inside the tunnel. Yeah, was this it? Was this where I... Because I've only driven this route a couple of times, actually. I've never really looked at... I'm going to eat my words that I said earlier. I said that some of the graphics looked a bit naff on this route, but actually, looking at this looks pretty... I mean, at the end of the day, it's only meant to be a representation, isn't it? And, well, I don't know how realistic this looks to the real place, but it looks really good. It's saying unlock the doors. I thought I'd unlocked them. We're majorly late. Super strength to them lads got their gen from my mate Nuneaton Daz, who set up all the paths for the local hold on the Wales coast. Yeah mate, all the caravans was upside down. I remember snogging. Let me just... my camera's stuck. Yeah mate, all the caravans were upside down. I remember snogging some local girl in some washed out flat. Right. Right, lock the doors. Can we do a driveway? Drive away. Shot here. Oh, we're on the camera which moves along with the train, unfortunately. I thought I'd selected the other camera. Kit Kat Kev, I once spent a overnighter on Burnt Island Station. Burnt Island Station, is that? I had been to see a fellow train enthusiast and I was too drunk to move. Thankfully, it was a summer night and no rain. Cool. So how many more stations we got? We got Kinghorn, is it? And Kirkcaldy, Cameron Bridge, and our final destination. Leaving, did he say? This bit reminds me a little bit of just coming out of Conway, heading towards Bangor. There's a section of the track that's like this. Wow, that looks pretty awesome. I'm impressed with that. That's better than Riviera. That shot. This is fantastic. Oh dear, look. Truly mocked up. This is why they don't allow texting in cars. Or talking in cars, really. The distraction is fatal. Right, where's our stop post? It's right at the end. There we go. Have I opened the doors? Super Sprinter. When I was about 13, I used to do Birmingham to Plymouth on a class 50 for £1 because the older washers needed kids so they could use their rail cards. Bashers. I was wondering what you meant by washers, bashers. Needed. Right, okay. Right, let's see if we can get that shot. Where's the train? See, this view here is really... That water looks good. The reflections with the sky. I quite liking the colour in it. It looks better than what it was when I played it in sort of July time. Oh, wow. Yeah. It is a nice route, isn't it? Innit? That's what we say around here, is innit? For some reason. Right. Let's do a drive away then. Shot. Let's see if we can get it right this time. So lock the doors. Oh, we got one with that other livery there. Right. Right, we're not moving. What's going on? The doors are closed, aren't they? Right. Now I wanted to do an outside shot. That's not the right camera. Oh, sod it. We'll do it on the next one. Kick at Kev. Well, I'm away, David, as I restart my cancer treatment tomorrow. So I'll be like a zombie at the weekend. By great... thanks Kick at Kev for coming along. It's nice to have you aboard. I hope everything goes well with cancer treatment. My wife had cancer, and it's very challenging and life-changing in many ways. So all the best of that. Good luck with it, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Thank you. Take care now. All the best. Rachel, hello Rachel again there. Good evening, how are you doing? So, we're on the Fife line. It's not a route I've driven before. Well, I have, but not one that I drive regularly. It's just one I've done a couple of times in the past, but quite fancied having a nosy at this 158 on the route. I'm not too bad, thanks, Rachel. It's been one of those days where I haven't stopped kind of running around and dealing with things and sorting things out. So, and it was looking close to. I was looking forward to the streaming last night, and then I thought, well, I'll stream tonight instead, and then it was looking like I wasn't going to be able to stream tonight neither because of me rushing around, but I just dropped everything in the end and went for it. So, but unfortunately, maybe I shouldn't, because I'm having a dreadful night with my stopping. In fact, we're going to overshoot here, I think. We passed our board. Yeah. But I've had to put it in emergency. Thank God it's just a game. Nice route. Enjoy it. Glad you did. Yeah, I'm glad I got it. I picked it up in a sale a long time. Well, yeah, I picked it up in a sale a long time ago. You know, you got to grab those opportunities when they come up in the sales, don't you? Because the prices start adding up quite dramatically when you have to pay for them full price. And so I think I'd bought a few routes at the same time and just never really came back to exploring it. Plus, I'm not a big fan of commuter-based type of driving, which, you know, where there's this stop-start thing, which is the case with this route. But I do like driving the 158. So I've only been on it a couple of times, and each time I drive it, I'm enjoying it a little bit more. But I'm just feel a bit challenged with it this evening. Looking between chat and driving, and I'm just missing. I'm not braking early enough. Oh, thank you very much. That's kind to say. Super Sprinter, as situation gone, I wanted to say something but went for a hit and miss. Right, we got 6.5 miles to Cameron Bridge, platform 2. Cathcart. I thought you were referring to someone else that was in the stream. So this is probably the longest part of the route without any stops, this 6 miles to Cameron Bridge from, what was it, Calcadi? I think the Scottish guy isn't with us anymore. I think he might have left chat a little bit earlier, but wanted to ask him a little bit about Scotland, because as I was saying, I've never been, and I'd love to explore all the well-known places, but one of my favourite films is set in Scotland, which is an old 1972 film called The Wicker Man, with Edward Woodward and Christopher Lee, Britt Eklund, and it's a bit of a weird kind of horror, folk, pagan based story. It's a bit of a what kind of become a cult. It's got a cult following now, and it's probably more famous now than, well, there's a big long story behind the production of the film, as well as the actual film itself. But it's a brilliant film. The original Wicker Man, this is not the one with what's his face, the more recent one, the 1972 version with Christopher Lee and Edward Woodward. Quite a disturbing end to the film. I won't offer any spoilers here if you haven't seen it, but it's a very strange one. My favourite film is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I'm sure I've seen it, but I need to go back and refresh myself. Right, why are we going slow? So I think it's safe to have a look from outside, with there not being any immediate stations. Oh, we've got some... we're going to have to drop the speed though. Haven't had much of an opportunity to enjoy some exterior shots as much as I would have liked with these constant stops. And now we've got a drop down to 30. We were talking a little bit about the Cardiff route earlier, weren't we? And we've got a release coming up, haven't we, for the Pacers that are going to be included on the Cardiff line, but there's still, I don't think there's been an announcement yet, has there, for a date on that? It'd be nice to see some more traffic on the Cardiff route. But I'm assuming you're going to have to pay for that pack, though, even though I've already got the Pacer as part of the Blackpool route. But I don't mind driving the Pacer. I don't know what other people think of it. I think it's sort of a love-hate relationship with the Pacer, isn't it? And a bit of Marmite as well. You either like it or you hate it. I don't mind it. It's easy to drive, but it's not really a go-to train, so Rachel, it'd be nice to see the Cardiff route extended to Swansea or Bristol. Yeah, there needs to be... It just all feels too compact, doesn't it? It just feels like a bit of a tram ride at the moment. Just stopping every couple of 100 feet. And if I remember correctly, the journeys themselves are only about 15 or 10 minutes long. So it would be nice to see it extended. And not as a separate route, but actually included all as one route. I would prefer to enjoy it more in that way. But with coming from North Wales, obviously I would like to see the North Wales route released. But I would like to see, in my personal opinion, I'd like to see Just Trains take on that project, because they specialise in the BR Blue era stuff, and I would like to see it set in that era, because the North Wales line offered a lot more interesting aspects to the railways during that period than it does now. It's just literally just a passenger service now, really. Super Sprinter, I remember Birmingham Metro paper doing anywhere on Central Trains return for a fiver. I was going to Cardiff every day for weeks for the 37 to Rimley, whatever it's called. I'm not familiar with the name places around the bottom there. There we go, a bit of more of the autumn colours. Right, we're just coming into 30. And we're coming into the station as well. Right, I think we stopped more or less in the middle here. Yeah. Just past this, just by this bridge. 20 yards over. That's not bad though. Right, let's see if I can put my other camera on. Right, for those of you who have joined us later on in the stream, as you can see, we've actually, our consist consists of a couple of 170s, well, 1, 2, 3 170s and units and 158s. So, let's see if we can get the a nice shot of her pulling away this time. Right, lock the doors. Rachel, there's not many, there's so many routes that can be done for the UK. I think DTG are missing so many opportunities. Yes, definitely. Right, we're ready to go, aren't we? Let's take these brakes off. At last I've managed to pull this shot off. I kept mucking it up earlier, using the wrong camera. Love the long shadows that depict the time of year and day, with the sun being a lot lower. Right, we got a yellow, so we need to keep that in mind. Right, so this is our last stop. Don't want to muck up this last stop, do we? Right, are we crossing over here? Hence the 25, yes. And here we are. Oh, can someone tell me, is it Halloween tomorrow night? Not tonight. I'm not into... I haven't got any kids or anything, so I don't know when Halloween is. I was going to do something for Halloween, you see. And, well... Train, stop, please. Stop. Just stop. Why isn't the train stopping? Why isn't the train stopping? Stop. Stop. Crikey. Right. Cheers, Rachel. Right. So, anyway, is it what's it called? Halloween. Right. Just there was something I was going to show you all, you see, if it was Halloween. Tomorrow. So Halloween's tomorrow, Jack, is it? Right. Thanks for letting me know. Well, I'm going to try and stream tomorrow anyway, but just in case I don't, for those of you who are here in the stream, I was going to do something. I was looking for something a bit spooky in Train Sim World, and I was thinking of doing the scenario. There's some kind of Halloween scenario in the Riviera line where you got to go and collect pumpkins. And I started it last night, and I switched it off straight away because it was in daylight and it just looked a bit boring, so I didn't bother. And then I was thinking of doing a bit of a ghost story. But while I was sort of doing a bit of research, I found this really spooky station, which I'll take you to now. Let's see if I can find it. So it's at St Anne's on Sea, and we're going to go to 2 a.m. in the morning so that we know there's nobody around. So if you want to create a bit of a scary atmosphere... Actually, I don't know why I'm using my... I can use my mouse, can't I? To advance by the hours. Right, there we go. Gonna leave it on October. Clear, but we're gonna have... Where is it? Lightning storm at 2 a.m. Super Sprinter went to do something spooky. Do West Coast Main Line before. Yeah, it's a bit of Russian roulette, isn't it? We're not meant to have the snow. Let me just reset that a minute. Something wasn't right in my weather there. Then there shouldn't have been any snow. Then did I put foggy on? Did I or something? Somehow I created snow and there shouldn't have been snow. Let's have a look. Oh, that's that. If you look in the middle there, that's a Scott Rail livery. That looks fantastic, which is a mod. It's not actually in the creative thing. You have to download it as a separate mod. Right, let's just go back. Right. Wasn't the second patch supposed to come out today? When I originally read up on it, it was so we were. Oh, it's still snowy. Oh, it doesn't matter. We'll just have a look anyway. Is it snow? Maybe I got it wrong. It looked a bit snowy. But this station, and if I stop talking, you will hear the wind. That spooky wind noise. So if you want to set yourself... Now, what this reminds me of, there was a game called Silent Hill. And it had very much this vibe of just complete deadness and spookiness. So... And there's your thunder. And we might get the chance to see a little bit of lightning. I hope I'm not gonna scare anybody from being able to go to bed tonight. Oh, look at this, we got some golf clubs here. But if you think this side of the station looks spooky, it starts to look a little bit more spooky on the other side. Can you give us the story? Well, perhaps I'll read it out tomorrow night then. I'll sort of edit it down and I'll tell you the story. But it's about... I suppose I could roughly tell you the story now, couldn't I? It's about a 12-year-old lad who went to meet his mates up here and to play football, and he ends up missing his last train back. Oh my God, that sounds scary. Yeah, he misses his last train back, so he starts to walk along the line. Being 12 years old, he thought it was the sensible thing to do was to just follow the railway line back. But as the weather became more and more eerie, and he became more and more cold and soaked. Look at this, it's so eerie. Look at those toilets. So the train... He realised he'd made a big mistake by trying to walk back to Preston from here. And he didn't think he was going to be able to survive the night. But then all of a sudden, he heard the noise of a pacer behind him and pulls up alongside him. And the doors opened, and to his relief, he jumped on, but the train was completely empty. There was no one on it. And then the train just started to go faster and faster and faster at such a speed. It was just at an uncontrollable speed. And he tried to make his way to the cab to try and get to the driver because he thought there was something wrong. But everything... he just kind of passed out. And then suddenly woke up on Preston station in the morning, woken up by one of the station staff asking him, "What are you doing here, lad? What's going on?" And after further discussion with the station guy, he discovered that there was no trains the evening before. They'd all been cancelled because of the really bad weather. And to this day, this 12-year-old lad has been spooked out because he doesn't really know what happened that night and how he eventually got back to Preston. So that was the story, a rough outline of the story anyway. But this is the station, so this is a good place to set a bit of a Halloween setting. But I'll show you something else I found, actually. Those of you are hanging around before I go, because I'm not going to do any more driving now. But there's something else spooky I found along this route. That really did freak me out more than that station, actually. We need to go into on foot again. And I think it's the next station. Yeah, it was Ansdell and Fairhaven. Let's make it spooky again too. David, you have a nice radio voice. Thank you very much. I think what helps is I used to be a videographer, and I've still got a lot of my video kit, and I've got a broadcast standard mic. This isn't the station actually I was thinking of. Nevertheless, it's spooky. The station I'm looking for has a level crossing area, so it must be the next station. Yeah, I used to be a videographer and used to produce various small little corporate videos and weddings and filmed weddings and things. I've still got a lot of my equipment, and the microphone I've got is a broadcast quality microphone. And I've got it set up so that it just gives it that nice, a bit of a radio voice. Hello and good evening, listeners. Welcome to tonight's radio show. We're gonna play some nice, smooth jazz. Plus, there's probably a bit of a smoker's voice in there of some years of smoking, which is a bad thing. Right, I was looking for this station, wasn't I? Right, so we've just been to that one. It must be this one then, Lytham. Does anybody know if this one has the level crossing at it? Dragon, let's get spooky. Super Sprinter, lighting is really good. I remember that lighting in the 80s. Is this... Oh, I can't find the station. Does anybody know which station on the Blackpool branches has... It's not this one either. Oh, what is it? Well, there's no level crossing here, is there? Well, at least we're seeing all the... cigars. Do you know what? I tried a pipe when I was a student. There was a lad who was into smoking pipes with tobacco like all the old guys used to. And I did have a bit of a phase of it. It was alright. Right, this isn't the station I wanted neither. I must have dreamt it in my dreams, this particular station that's got a level crossing. I'm convinced that one of the stations on the Blackpool branches has got a level crossing on it, which has got something spooky in it. It's got to be Moss Side then. Right, this is my last attempt, I think, at trying to find it. It is Moss Side, is it, Super Sprinter? This is Moss Side though, is it? Then that was Kirk. Where was I then? Yeah, I'd spawned in the wrong station. Oh God. Do you know what? It's going to be quite anticlimactic now, because we've spent so much time to look for it. Moss Side. I always play daylight cloudy, not anymore. More night, more moody needed. Yeah, the best time to play is at night time doing the night ones. Ooh, got these. Yeah, now this is it. This is it. Right. So I was looking for some camera shots, and what I need to do so I can get there, if I just spawn a train, let's just do a so if I just spawn a train a moment and just why can't I get on? Right, okay. Let's just sit down there. Right, so I was messing around here with my camera having a look around. Maybe you all know about this anyway, but I came over here and I could see something in these buildings, these houses, that looked a bit odd, and the closer I got, and the closer I got, there's this guy standing in the window of his living room with a car in the living room. And then there's another guy here that's got his hand over his face and a car inside the living room, and that's just freaky. That's really freaked me out. Sat here on my own. So there you go. That's what I was trying to say. Oh dear. Right, so I hope you all have a happy Halloween. I might do a bit of a stream, but I haven't really got any Halloweenish to kind of set up for you, really, to be honest. But I might have a stream tomorrow, see how things go. But I'll certainly be streaming over the weekend anyway. Mark Moss. Hello there, Mark. You've just caught me at the very, very end. So thank you for coming in at the very, very end. But yeah, just rewatch the stream if you like, or join me on one of the future streams I intend to do over the weekend. But thank you for coming along, everybody. I'll see you all on the next one.